Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Mmm. Wow, that was delicious. I'll tell you what, boy, sometimes getting that first sip of coffee in the day into you, it's like, getting just something shot right into your bloodstream. It just feels so good, I'll tell you. Even when the rest of the world seems to be falling down around you, I'll tell you, that one cup of coffee seems to make sense of it all. I don't know what. Mm. Guys, really interesting. The article that I was reading this morning has to do with the future generations and what with this generation and what's happening right now is being left behind to these guys. Now, of course, it's just looking at it from the traditional markets. And basically what they're saying is that the Western world has some really bad news, to provide to this next younger generation. And primarily because, look, for those of us that are getting to the age of retirement and on and on and on, and now we're getting, our Social Security pensions or whatever government pension it is, depending on where you are in the world. Some countries have them, some don't, the way it is. The younger generation, of course, in their income taxes or, like where they have to pay the Social Security benefits and all this and this and that, that's paying forward for them, because the generation that comes up behind them will pay for theirs. But what they're saying is this next generation, when they go to actually be doing that as they go into their working careers and things like that, they're not going to be too happy about it, and I don't blame them, because basically they're going to be having to give up a much larger portion of their income to satisfy the demand on that than what we had to do. And on top of that, it's going to be being paid out to people that are probably going to be much financially better off than they may ever be in their lives because of the cycles of how long it's going to take in terms of getting back on track with the way things are. Now, that's if we were to stick just with this traditional system. That's what they're really talking about, is kind of like that, the future tax burden and Social Security burden on, future generations to pay for what's going on today. Now, that may very well continue on down the road, but think of this. When you consider that they're moving us into this new digital economy, don't kid yourself. Yes, we can see, and I believe wholeheartedly that de-dollarization is happening big time. And of course, when we see coming up here with these BRICS countries come January, which of course is really not too far off, that we are going to see a major shift, and we're seeing it already in the wide world. I mean, the political, social, economic instability that's going on right now, and in periods of transition, that is always the way it is. Whether it's, it's the beginning and the end of various cycles that the most volatility comes in. And that's why you have to have the be sharp during both of those periods of time, because of course there's high levels of volatility and uncertainty, and of course markets react to that. Markets do not like uncertainty, do they? They do not. And so we're going to see some wild swings here. Now, of course, my personal belief is that in this digital asset space, we are going to see something unbelievable that generations of people have not seen. And that is, of course, a major wealth transfer as we move into this new digital economy, and that most people are completely unprepared for because they're absolutely ignorant of it. I had some guys just, like on my coaching, literally tell me that they've already gone out and they were talking to people in their area and they know absolutely nothing. One of my coaching guys was telling me how many people he went around and was talking about and asking, hey, do you know what XRP is? You know what this is? They had absolutely no clue. And that's what's going on. Most people are absolutely oblivious. Like I say, they're completely ignorant of it. And of course, that is the way the powers that be want it. They do not want to see mass retail adoption in this digital asset space. A lot of us that are in it, we feel that, everybody else must be in it because, of course, that is our circle of, that is our awareness. We're so aware of it that we think everybody must know. But guys, I'm telling you, we are a major minority in comparison to the people that are out there that have no clue whatsoever. And when they find out, it is going to hit them like a ton of bricks, and they're going to say, why, oh, why didn't I follow up? Why, oh, why didn't I investigate this just a little bit more? Because, guys, what's coming? The tidal wave of value that is going to flood into these distributed ledger technologies, my personal belief, because this is the evolution of the way the world actually works, is going to be staggering. And you're going to watch the fortunes of people just absolutely be changed in big ways, both those that lose and those that gain. It is going to be something, that's at least my opinion. Now, having said all that, with this future generation that's coming up, now there's probably more younger people that are aware of this space than older people, to be sure, but there's still a big ignorance back in there as well. And when they have to come up behind and put in way more of their disposable income, or their gross income, gets cut way, way worse than what it did for us to support this infrastructure, what do you think they're going to be thinking? Do you think they're going to be happy about that? Now, remember this. These aren't just going to be kids for a long time. Hey, they're going to become adults. They're going to become voters. They're going to become, the people in those seats of power in Congress and on and on and on. What laws do you think that they'll be making up to compensate for all of this? I'm telling you guys, a big change is coming, and it's less than a generation away, isn't it? It is going to be something amazing. And this is why we need to be out there and getting ahead of the game when it comes to the regulatory clarity in this space, and not just leaving it up to the people that we elected to go represent us, because in most cases, they're not representing us. In most cases, they're really just representing themselves or the lobbyist interests that are out there. Guys, we got to be like that. We got to go out there, get our voices heard, get the way in which we know this space to be out there in the front and center in the public eye, so that we're not in a situation where we've lost all kinds of anonymity, all kinds of liberty, and on, and the true major benefits of this space can be accentuated, and not all the bad stuff. It's kind of like, and almost anything, a nice bottle, a nice glass of wine or something like that. Now, Judy and I really actually don't drink, but the thing is this, I'm not really against it, but of course, anything to its excesses is a bad thing, and you watch people become alcoholics, which is an absolute travesty. But I mean, the same thing can be said of sugar. I mean, how many people have been turned into type 2 diabetics because of all the sugar in our food, and on and on and on? Anything to that level of excess is a bad deal. And so when you think about what the technology can provide, and if you were to take it to its nth degree, man, you could set up a massive, controlling state where people literally couldn't even flinch a muscle without somebody else knowing about it. That kind of stuff. Or it can be liberating. It can provide freedom. It can provide some major innovation and invention that would really just do wonders for us as a society, and really help people come up out of some serious poverty and see some big time changes in their lives. It could really lift a whole bunch of people out of there. But guys, we got to get our voices out there if that's going to happen. We have to be advocates in this space, not ripping one another apart like what's going on, with Ben Armstrong there and having to deal with all of that. And guys, like I said yesterday, I'm reserving my judgment on the whole thing. But needless to say, even if at the end of the day, all the things that are being said about Ben are true, even if that's true, that's where grace comes in. That's where grace comes in. Because I'll tell you what, not one of us can stand before the Almighty God on our own accord. Absolutely not one of us. We are all branded guilty. That is a fact. And that's the whole point of the gospel, the good news, right? Someone else came and paid for our debt in full. That's the mercy and the grace of God. And that's how we have to treat one another, with mercy and grace. Even if he is guilty of it, the guy still needs to have some mercy and grace and some healing, brought into his life. And that's where I'm praying over the whole situation, that God just intervenes in there and restores. Because I'll tell you what, tearing one another apart, ripping each other to shred, who's right, who's wrong, all this and that, is absolutely nothing but just corrosion in this space. And it's the last thing that we really want to have going on, because people already don't really, they're leery of crypto and digital assets as it is because of the whole FTX deal and on and on and on. And now they're going to watch people just literally, an influencer, a big time influencer, and in there see everyone ripping each other apart. Guys, it is not good in any capacity. That's where we have to be, get ahead of the game. Let's show them something different about who we are. That's why I love this channel, and that's you guys. That is you guys. Because I'll tell you what, I don't see the majority of people in this channel coming out and just literally ripping one another apart. I don't see it. I really don't. And that's why I say you're the best community in all of crypto, because of the culture that we've created in this community. And it's one of helping. Yes, of course, it's okay to argue different points of view and not have the same point of view on an issue and stuff like that. And boy, I'll tell you, that's something we genuinely love and support. Why? It promotes critical thinking. That's why. But we're not out there ripping one another apart because you hold a different point of view. Oh, you're just a this and this and this, and you're a da-da-da-da-da, and on. I don't see a whole lot of that. And furthermore, if I did see it, I would be removing it anyway, because it's not healthy for us. It's not healthy for our community. Hey, tear down the argument. Let's not tear down the person. That's what I have to say about that. And guys, I'm just praying the whole situation turns around. But this is where we have now an opportunity. This situation affords us an opportunity to show that this space, this distributed ledger technology, this digital asset space, hey, we've matured. We're not adolescents fighting over like, cats and dogs or kids in the sandbox over there. No, we've matured. We've grown up. We know what we're dealing with, and we know that this is the future of the way the world's going to work, and we're going to act like it, right? And that's where we get out there and we share the positive points of what this space represents. And we got to do it in a public way so that, hey, you're writing into your congressman, you're dealing with your senators, you're getting out there with the legislator guys that are making these laws and making sure that laws are being made, and the regulatory clarity that's coming is going to afford us the best of what this space has to offer. Not the worst of it, that's for sure. Well, guys, I'll tell you what. I sure hope you're having an absolutely amazing Tuesday. A gorgeous day out today. It's not super, super hot. It's in the 90s. But hey, we had like almost 40-some days of being over 100-degree weather here in Texas. And so, the 90s just feel like, ooh, this is really great. In fact, I'm getting a nice breeze coming in here. So it's really amazing. Anyhow, guys, I sure hope you're having an absolutely fantastic Tuesday. And until later on today, we have an amazing video. They're all amazing. But I'll tell you what, we got another amazing video for you later on today. And until then, guys, have a great one and take care.